So, hi everyone, my name is Dimitri, and I'm going to talk to you about influencer marketing. So, who am I and why I'm here talking about that? So, this is one of the business lines that grew very fast in our agency for the past 14 months. Well, yeah, it should be working, but it's not working. Sorry, the clicker is not working for me. Okay. All right, yeah, now it does. So, as I said, for the past 14 months, our agency, who noticed the opportunity to dive into influencer marketing because of the growing interest to video watching, for the recommendations that people prefer to listen to make their own decisions. Probably this is also connected with the rise of the ad block, with the rise of the video ads. So somehow, influencer marketing is growing very fast. And it shows very interesting results for all the app developers and other parts of like retail business. It also works there, but we're in a mobile gaming conference, so let's talk about mobile games. We have seen that it works worldwide. We have accumulated a base of 3,000 influencers for this particular moment for up to date, and we have a team of 8 managers. But for you to consider, like 14 months ago, it was one single person who was doing one single campaign for Playroom who decided to do this, to start doing this. And it grew up to a business unit that plays a very significant role in our agency. Why did it happen? The thing is that influencers are being trusted by users, as I said, and they are being trusted by marketers. And the thing is that, well, the investment that goes in there is really considerable, and the researches that are being done by different companies that show that the interest from the users grows, and that's why the money follows where the demand is. So that's why we do that, and we do that for mobile games. Why we do that for mobile games? Because influencer marketing fits very well in promoting mobile games. It has some things that, well, they're not very bright in terms of post-campaign analytics. There are different difficulties, but in terms of acquiring new users, it works wonders. The thing is that you build awareness, and you also have an access to a channel which is really different one compared to the channels that you usually use. It also slows down the burnout of organic traffic because you have a long tail of viewers who see the ad inside the video channel, and then the new users that come to this channel, they will see that ad as well. So you pay once, but you get the long tail. You also have this great thing that the content, the actual ad is produced by the vlogger himself, and he knows his own audience, and he knows how to attract it, he knows how to burn it, how to promote the game in order to receive the maximum impact. Because he is interested in getting more orders from the agencies like ours, and that's why he's doing his job very well. There is no fraud, almost no fraud. We have experienced one case that we encountered fraud, but in general, this traffic is fraud-free. And, well, there is not so much analytics about that, as I said. However, many companies are working on that, and including ourselves. The thing is, the best, let's say, the success comes out of the campaign management. And there are 4 stages that I would like to talk about in order to help you make sure your influencer marketing campaign gives you great results. So the thing is, you have to consider what are the profiles of your users, so you do not go to, let's say, so you understand what is the core audience of your game, and you go to a channel where this audience watches. But the thing is, you don't have to go directly only to games channels. We have found great users in do-it-yourself channels, for example, or in channels dedicated to fishing. So we brought some MMO users from fishing channels, and there are, well, pretty good paying users that come from such channels, cars and such. You also have to consider the monetization model, and the thing is that if you have like in-app purchases in the game, it's good that your vlogger, the influencer, talks about that and he shows how much benefit the user will get if he starts paying. You also have to consider the local things about the markets, and I will talk about them a bit later. And important thing about the economy of such campaigns is that do not like waste money only on top names. We have seen that lots of influencers who are not in the top, but they are second choice, they provide even better results, both in terms of, let's say, the outcome, the revenue outcome, but also during the campaign management. This is important. This is very important because precisely the campaign management generates the most hassle for your team. Well, once you approach them, first you have to consider that if you write them directly, the chance that you will receive a reply is from 0 to 5%. And you have to write them in their own language, in their native language. Well, you have to brief them very fast, and it's important to talk to them directly, like via Skype. You do the call, but you have to be ready to provide them a brief, which underlines the most important things you would like to have in the video that they will be producing. And it is important because the video is like very short, from 30 to 60 seconds, and you have to put, let's say, the most valuable call to action thing into that ad. Well, you also would love to ask vlogger to bring some personal touch into that video because it really raises the conversions. And you have to consider adding some in-app bonuses for those who are downloading, installing the game from the tracking links that you are delivering to the vlogger. So once he gives this incentive that download from that link and you will get this bonus, you get high conversions. Well, talking about time zones, we have launched campaigns. We are located in Belarus, so you know there is some time difference between us and the United States. So we have the team that works almost 24 hours, so they work in shifts because it is important to be in touch 24/7. And that's why our direct advertisers have troubles dealing with US YouTubers when they have these urgent questions and nobody can answer them. So that's why we use this shift method. There are some things that YouTubers will face if they are not experienced in promoting mobile games, so they do not know nothing about tracking links. You have to track, you have to check those tracking links with them. You have to explain that to them. And well, you have to be available for them. It is also important to do the forecasts, and we have this method of doing the negative and the positive forecast because results vary. As I said, there is not that much post-campaign analytics as we have, for example, with AppsFly or Adjust right now, and nobody can provide that. So you have that tracking link that you see how many users used it to download the game and then started playing it. But this is part of the iceberg. So from our own experience, we think that from 20 to 70% of the users, let's say the game was downloaded by 100 users, but 20 or 70 more, they went to search it directly into the App Store or Google Play. There are some companies that say that this number is higher 10 times. Well, we are more reasonable. We think there is a large portion of users that go directly into the App Store. So how to track this? You have to use this. Well, you just see the uplift and try to calculate the difference from the, let's say, your normal daily basis compared to the days when you launch the campaigns. This is one of the ways. We are working on a solution that will help that, but it's a very technical thing, and well, hopefully we will be able to solve it this year. And also, once you track the outcomes of the campaigns, and you usually have a large list of influencers. For example, we run campaigns they have like 40 to 50 YouTubers in the list. Sometimes you may have picked the wrong YouTuber, so if you don't see the results, well, you check the tracking link. If it worked, well, then you have picked up the wrong one. So, and talking about that, I would love to focus your attention on some particularities that are connected with the regional, with specific regions that we have experience working with. So, for example, in English-speaking countries, the device split is like 50 by 50. Sometimes even iOS share is higher. The traffic distribution in English-speaking channels is mostly relevant to the United States audience. You also have, let's say, the major part of that audience is United States-based, but you also have people from other countries like UK and Australia and Canada. And you also have people who watch these channels from, for example, India or Philippines. There are not so many risks working with the YouTubers that come from the United States. You have to keep in mind that they are very formal, they are very strict. The negotiations with them should start with briefing them, and this should be very precise and exact brief. They respond pretty good. They have this official attitude to sponsorship, so they are used to sell advertisement in their channels. And they are following the agreements as they are written. So be very careful when you do the agreement with them. Try to remember everything that you would love to put in the video, because it will be very hard to do any, even minor changes after he has submitted the video that you have agreed the brief with him. We have made lots of campaigns with the Russian YouTubers. We actually started working with them 14 months ago. Well, they are very flexible. This is the major part about them. They are pretty cheap. But the thing is, sometimes they might disappear during the campaign preparation. So we are not paying them up front. So that's why we are saving our and advertisers' money. But the thing is, you have to have plan B, because at times up to 30% of those YouTubers can say, okay, my granny is in the hospital, my dog is dying, and other things that we cannot tolerate, but it happens. Anyways, as for the traffic distribution, we see that major part comes from Russia, but a considerable part, up to 40% of the audience of those channels, Russian-speaking channels, they come from the community of independent states countries. So that's why you have to be careful and double-check if your game is present in those minor stores, in those regional stores. We also did quite a few campaigns with Latin America, and well, they are very cheap. I mean, you get 100K views for 200, 300 US dollars. This is not much at all, but they cheat quite a lot. So you have to make a white list of those YouTubers after all. They are very, very, let's say, responsive. So they give you the response back very fast because they want money, and they are ready to do more than you are expecting from them. So this is a good part. 70% come from Latin America and 30% come from Spain. This is according to what we have seen. And please note that major part of those users will have the Android devices. So take that into consideration. We love Netherlands. We love working with the Netherlands YouTubers because the market is quite small. This allows to do the soft launches, you know, to check out how the YouTube influencer marketing campaigns are performing. So this is a good market to do the soft launch with the influencers. They have quite affordable prices. They are reliable, and they are pretty flexible. So we love them a lot. India, extremely high prices because all of the YouTubers, they are connected to Bollywood. Well, I cannot suggest go there, but If you want reach and you have money, well, do that. Germans, pretty qualified audience. We love the outcomes of the campaigns. But we think, we are not sure, that the prices that they have some kind of agreement between the YouTubers, so every one of them has the same price. And they have these taxes, so they work officially, and that's why you have this additional cost, which is taxes. So the rates are different, but so are the users, and well, these are some insights some valuable data that we have gathered during these 14 months of our work. We mostly promoted mobile games, but we also worked with e-commerce and brands. These are the numbers for strategy, for shooters, for MMO games, and for match 3. Yeah, I know you're taking thoughts. This is a lot of work. I would say that we have conducted over 1,000 small flights, so 1,000 ad placements during this period. So the data is quite accurate. What we think about that is that, well, taking a look at these numbers and comparing them to your internal numbers, you will make up your mind whether this is worth investing in or not. And I think you should at least have a try. So if you're planning to do a single campaign, I think it's not like promoting Zorka. It's thinking about your own team that will be taking care of such launch. It's easier to do with an agency because agency knows the pool of the YouTubers. They know how to talk to them. They are in contact with them, and this is quite reliable. So you will not waste time waiting for the answers. Then conducting your own white list of those who behave quite good. It's also cheaper because even though we charge the commission, and it's very transparent, the prices that we get from the YouTubers are usually lower than those that you will get directly from them. We know that you do not have to overpay for the top names, as I said, and you should be also delivering them the materials that they will be using in their own language. This is very important. And also keep the balance between nativity and efficiency, so do not overcome with creativity, but try to make it effective. So I think this presentation was quite useful for you, just to underline. Consider the audience, try to find the channels that fit that audience, then try those placements, analyze that, and then do the scale. Thank you very much. I welcome your questions.
That was, I think, fascinating. I think we're seeing professionalism of that whole influence and marketing piece. I think that you've clearly shown that. Has anyone got a quick question before we move on to the panel? I have a microphone this time if anyone does. Oh yes, question here. So, go for it.
How scalable is this method? How much downloads for a single campaign in the US have you seen?
Well, it is scalable. It also depends on the regional market, because at times we found, let's say, that in Russia you can scale up, probably spend maximum up to 150K for a single flight, and you will cover the whole Russia. In the United States, the prices are completely different, so that's why you will be spending a lot more. But the scale, there is scale. You can start spending like 10K in one region, let's say in English-speaking countries, and then scale it up to 500,000. And you will also scale not in terms of money, but also in terms of revenue and users that you will be getting out of such campaigns. So there is scale.
Cool. I'll sneak another one in quickly. Has to be a quick one though.
With the the social medias you mentioned, you failed to mention Facebook and for influencers.
Yeah.
What kind of area are you looking at in Facebook marketing?
All right. So first of all, we looked at influencer marketing just as YouTube, the only channel. But then we started trying out Twitter, Facebook, let's say opinion leaders. So we look for the people who have a wide network and they are talking about specific subjects that are relevant to the audience of the game. So we look for those. So we try to match, let's say, the demand, let's say, the interest of the audience with the content that the influencer is providing. And no matter what channel he resides in, we find it.